David R. here. Today I'm going to talk to you about this book, The Art of the Deal by Donald J. Trump with Tony Schwartz. At the beginning of the book, Trump says, "I don't do it for the money. I've got enough, much more than I'll ever need. Deals are my art form. Other people paint beautifully on canvas or write wonderful poetry. I like making deals, preferably big deals. That's how I get my kicks." He also adds, "My style of deal making is quite simple and straightforward. I aim very high, and then I keep pushing and pushing and pushing till I get what I'm after. Sometimes I settle for less than what I sought, but in most cases I still end up with what I want." That's what this book is about. It's about deals Trump made on or before 1987. But I'm not going to go into each and every deal. What I'm going to do is get to the gems of the book. And with that being said, the heart of the art of the deal is in chapter 2, Trump Cards, Elements of the Deal. Think big. Trump says if you're going to be thinking anyway, why not think big? He says most people don't think big because they're afraid of success, afraid to make decisions, afraid of winning. Who would want to be afraid of winning? That's what I want to know. He says that one of the keys to thinking big is total focus. He knows many entrepreneurs who are maniacal, who are so focused that it's borderline obsessive, but that's how they become successful. He says, if you're thinking big, why not just go to the top? Instead of dealing with an underling, somebody who wants to satisfy their boss, somebody who won't really fight for the deal, but they're fighting for their salary, go to the top. Go to the top guy. That's what you do. 2, project the downside and the upside will take care of itself. Trump says that he believes in the power of negative thinking. He says if you can plan for the worst, you can live with the worst. But this isn't how he always thinks, but this is how he thinks when he's going into a deal. He says, don't act on impulse, even if this is for charitable purposes. Always consider that there's a downside to everything. Now, on the flip side to this, he says that even the worst of times can bring out the best deals or the best opportunities. So he does think on the bright side, obviously. 3, maximize your options. Be flexible. Keep a lot of balls floating in the air. Don't get too attached to a single deal or a single approach. Don't get attached to a single woman either. He says, when it comes to buildings, I'm a practical man. If an older look is what people want, that's what I'm going to provide. I'm not interested in buildings that don't sell. 4, know your market. Ask everyone for an opinion. Keep asking until you get a gut feeling about something. He says, always trust your gut. And by this, he says, something may sound good on paper, but it may not be so good in actuality. He also says that you'll learn more from random surveys, just talking to people, than you will by hiring a firm to do your marketing research for you. 5, use your leverage. Don't seem desperate to make a deal. If the other side smells blood, then you're dead. Deal from strength. Also, the best deals are when both sides feel happy. Both sides feel like they got what they wanted. He says, don't make deals without leverage. 6, enhance your location. Trump says that perhaps the most misunderstood concept in all of real estate is the key to success is location, location, location. He says sometimes it's just getting the best deal, not exactly the best location. But if you can get the best location for a good price, then do it. You have nothing to lose there. He says that he has an almost perverse attraction to complicated deals, because the complicated deals turn out to be the ones he can get for the best price. 7, get the word out. He says, you may have the greatest product in the world, but if nobody knows about it, then it's useless. That's why you have to generate interest. You have to get people to want to know what it is or know something about it. And that's where the press comes in. He says the press is always hungry for a story, and the most outrageous, the better. He says good publicity is great, but bad publicity isn't always so bad. No publicity is worse than bad publicity. He says controversy sells, but so does glamour. Play on people's fantasies, and that's what the Trump Towers do. They play on people's fantasies. He says people may not always think big themselves, but they like to be around people who do. He says also companies cut back on advertising when sales are down, but he says you need to increase your advertising when your sales are down. 8, fight back. He says sometimes you can't avoid confrontation. You have to stand tall, and whatever happens, happens. He says bullies are really just closet cowards. And once you confront one, they fold like a deck of cards. Speaking of folding, if you get the reputation as a folder, you're considered weak. You don't want to be considered weak. That's why Trump goes after thieves in his organization, even if it costs him 3 times more than what they stole. He says, sometimes you have to lose the battle to win the war. 9, deliver the goods. If you don't deliver the goods, people will eventually catch on. He uses an example of Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter had the courage, the balls, the guts, but he didn't deliver the goods. He says you have to be relentless, and if you're pursuing something, you have to go at it 100%. Do your best, and if that doesn't work, then move on to something else. 10, contain the costs. He says spend what you have to, but don't spend more than you should. Be cost conscious. You can dream great dreams, but they'll never amount to much if you can't turn them into reality at a reasonable cost. The smarter guys understand that while big revenues are great, the real issue is the spread between revenues and costs. That's your profit. 11, have fun. Anything can happen in life. Life is fragile. Have fun doing what you do. Don't take it too serious, but, don't take it too lightly either. Anything can change without warning. And this is true. This has happened with everyone. All of a sudden, things are going great, and then boom, things are not so great because some crazy thing happened. He says, money was never a big motivation for me, except as a way to keep score. The real excitement is playing the game. His dad said, the most important thing in life is to love what you're doing because that's the only way you'll ever truly be good at it. So yeah, I recommend this book highly to anybody who's going into business or just in general. Chapter 2 happened to be my favorite, but I think the whole book is great, and that's why this book is still around. It's stood the test of time. Well, anyway, that's all I got. Talk to you later. Bye.